All right, section 6.6 deals with exponential models again. It's probably one of the more difficult sections we're going to do. In this, we focus on solving all different types of models. So example 1, honestly, is probably the most difficult one. It's solving an exponential equation using a common base. So when you have an equation like this, where I have a power or I have an exponential on each side, we need to go ahead and try to get these bases to match up. Okay, so that's the key. When you have an exponential on the left and the right, we need to get the bases to match up. Now, the way we're going to do this on this one is when I see 1/2, I realize I can rewrite that as 2 to the negative 1. 4 can be rewritten as 2 squared. Okay, so that's our starting point right there. Try to get the bases to be the same. And I look at it, I got a base of 2, got a base of 2. From there, we have to do a couple of things. First off, properties of exponents. I know when I have a power raised to a power, okay, so 2 exponents going on, you can go ahead and multiply the numbers out. So my next line is going to turn into 2 to the negative x minus 7, and then 2 times 3x is 6x, so 2 to the 6x. Okay, so our bases are the same. Now that the bases are the same, the only thing we have to match up are the exponents. So the way you're going to get those exponents to match up is take them and set them equal to each other. So we have negative x minus 7 equals 6x, and from there, you're just doing an Algebra 1 problem. Okay, solve for x. Get the x's to one side, numbers to the other, solve, and we get x equals negative 1. So again, when you have a power on each side, okay, so an exponential is on each side, we need to go ahead and get the bases to match up one way or another. Example 2 deals with problems like you could have already done, honestly. You look at it, they want you to rewrite it, so it's a real simple one. You got 17 to the 4x. Your x is up top, so we know we have issues. Okay, it's not an easy one to solve. So the way you're going to go ahead and solve that is by switching forms. So go ahead and write log. Okay. Dealing with logs, we know that our bases are always the same, and then the log always equals the exponent, so in this case, x. From there, the only thing we have left that we could take the log of would be 17. So I have log base 4 of 17, and that's going to equal 2.04. Remember, on these calculators that we have, the way you would do that is by hitting math, go to log base, and then you just type it in. And then we're going to go to the hundredths place in this class. So that's how I got the 2.04. Okay, last one we're going to look at is solving logarithmic equations. So on this one, I have logs on each side. And really the only way you can do this is if you have the same log on each side. So I look at the left, I look at the right, I have ln going on, we're good to go. Okay, the bases need to be the same on each side. From there, what you do is you go ahead, take the inside of the log, okay, so what we're taking the log of, and set them equal. So you have x squared minus 16 equals 6x. From quadratics in Algebra 1 and earlier this year in Algebra 2, you go ahead and set it equal to 0, and then we try to factor that. So what multiplies give me negative 16, adds give me negative 6. It's going to be x minus 8, x plus 2. Okay. From there, you can go ahead, break and solve. So you get x equals 8, x equals negative 2. And then we have to check, okay? So for logs, you cannot take the log of 0 or a negative number. So since that's the case, we go ahead and plug in. When I plug in the 8, it works out okay. You got positive numbers on each side. But when I plug in the negative 2, it's no good, okay? When I plug in negative 2, we end up taking the log of a negative number. So since that's the case, we're going to go ahead and cross it off and say it's extraneous. So you got 3 more of these to try on your own. Notice on all of these, the bases for the log are the same. So that allows us to go ahead and set the insides equal. And then from there, when you get your answers, you have to check to make sure they work out.